performance-based navigation in the system. We've encouraged RNAV into the system. We're growing it. So to that extent, I think we are not behind. What I think has often been said about the industry sometimes is they need to upgrade some of the services. For example, during Harmattan season, visibility reduces significantly. And to be able to enhance that, we need to provide, for us, I mean, coming from NAMA, a higher grade of ILS. And we have made provision for two that we are planning to install, one category 3 in Lagos, one category 3 in Abuja. That means that the airlines will be able to fly to lower minimums. So when the visibility does reduce, it might not impact as much on their operations. And of course, we have, like I said earlier, the performance-based navigation and RNAV, which helps the airlines, again, to be able to operate at lower minima during the Harmattan season. Even sometimes during the rainy season, because you might have very low clouds. We are doing this to ensure that operations of the airlines is guaranteed at a higher rate when we have reduced visibilities or situations that might impact on their being able to operate.
Recently, we have reports that you've embarked on beefing up your communications capacity with the deployment of 4 Jotron high-power radio. What impact has that on the Nigerian airspace in terms of safety?
Our business, core business, can be summarized in 3 letters: CNS, communications, navigations, and surveillance. What we are trying to address with the Jotron radios is there has been some complaints about how good our communication network has been. Therefore, we acquired the Jotron radios as standard.
You said you acquired, you decided to beef up this communications equipment owing to complaints about NAMA's communications network. What are these complaints?
The complaint is this, that because of the increase in volume, obviously, if you have 10 people trying to talk to one person, you want to be able to have clarity. You want to be able to reach them as soon as possible. And therefore, we have to put radios in place to be able to guarantee that the pilots are able to communicate with our controllers. And we are addressing that. Number one, we have put in the standalone, which act as backup. Recently, we have done the factory acceptance test for more radios, which I expect to be installed by mid-April. Now, what we will address with the new radios is the sectorization. The sectorization means it's like breaking it apart, such that the workload is reduced. Like Lagos, we have Lagos East, Lagos West. So if you are going in a particular direction, you have a frequency. If you are going in the other direction, there is a frequency. So different people will be handling you, rather than you, the air traffic controller, being the person that everybody is talking to. So it will make it easier. It's like sharing the workload.
Let me take you to another issue entirely, which is also generating a lot of anxiety, and that's the huge debts owed by airlines from the agencies. So what is responsible for this? Could you tell us more about this airlines owing governments, aviation agencies, huge amounts of money running into billions of naira?
The airlines are owing us. And that's because our business really is, there are 2 ways to do it. I can say, you want to buy my service, you pay for it ahead. Okay? I can say you pay for it ahead. On the other hand, I can give you credit, which is the way it works globally. In this business, for scheduled carriers, we can't say go and pay for our navigation services before you go. So we tend to believe that, well, these things can be done on credit. I invoice you after. Now, the thing we would expect is that you pay us at when we demand it. That would be the honorable thing to do. But somehow, the airlines, maybe they get too busy. They do not pay us as at when it is due, our bills are due. And that's how it gets, it accumulates. When bills accumulate and, their debt accumulates, it's kind of more difficult for you to pay as at when due. The airlines have contended that some of the debts should either be waived but it's not within our power to waive any debt. Number one, we're a federal government agency. Whatever revenue we generate, it really doesn't belong to us. It belongs to government.
Does that suggest an absence of structure that ensures that this airline complies as and when due in terms of payment of their dues?
To say, is there a structure? I provide a service for you. I send you an invoice. What you should do is pay. Of course, we make every attempt to let the airlines know that they should pay. But as far as structure, it's not like when we don't bill them. It's not like they don't get the invoice. It's a matter of them doing the needful.
You may also send us your comments on our various social media platforms. Coming up on Question Time, dissecting the Open Skies Agreement. What implication for Nigeria?